Good afternoon, everyone. Our next speaker is Tertia Albertyn from Nurture. She will be discussing egg donor cycles, the process and the role of the agency. She is the co-founder of Nurture Donation Program. She is an accomplished speaker and published author. As a ex-fertility patient herself, she is known across South Africa and internationally. Let's give her a round of applause.
Hi there, thank you very much, and welcome to the graveyard shift, the last afternoon on the last day. I'm going to be peering through my glasses so that I can see my notes, and it also serves the other benefit of not being able to see you properly. So I get less nervous because you're all fuzzy. It was either that or picture you naked, so I thought I'd stick with the glasses. Instead of boring you with 745 PowerPoint slides, what I thought I would do is have a conversation with you all and introduce myself, tell a bit about my story, and explain how I got to the point where I have an egg donor agency that I help other people with. Let me introduce myself. Let me make sure I know how this works. My name's Tertia Albertyn, and I have a pretty impressive or pretty harrowing infertility resume, whichever way you look at it. I've been through a whole lot myself, but I have a happy ending. I have twins who are now 15, which is pretty terrifying, and a little surprise baby. So I've been through a lot through my years of infertility, and when I finally achieved my dream of having my children, I knew that I could never leave behind all the women that were still struggling, men and women that were still struggling, that were still in the trenches, and I wanted to help them. And I've been very involved with infertility since then. I've written a book about the subject. I've spoken on radio shows and TV shows. I co-founded South Africa's largest online support forum, but my proudest achievement was co-founding Nurture Egg Donor Program. Nurture Egg Donor Program is 12 years old, was 12 years old on the 1st of March. We are the largest and most successful independent egg donor agency in South Africa. Our team has been through over 40 IVFs of our own, so we really understand this world very intimately. We've helped many egg donors, many potential parents, and we've had over 1,500 babies born through our program. And each one of those babies is incredibly special to us. I always say we feel like proud aunties to all these babies that have been born through our program. So now let's come to the purpose of my talk and what I want to say. As an infertility patient, you don't start off needing an egg donor in order to conceive. Most of us grow up with the idea that one day we will have our own biological child. We wonder, as we're growing up, I wonder if my child one day will have my love of dancing or my love of music, or will inherit my dad's wacky sense of humor, for example. And then you try and you try and you try, and it doesn't work. And you get told you're going to need an egg donor in order to have a baby. That's a pretty devastating thing to hear. And there's a process of grief that you go through where you mourn the loss of that dream that you had, that you would have a baby with your own DNA. And then we get patients that come to us and they say, I need an egg donor. How on earth do I go about finding an egg donor? It seems to be an impossible task. There are 3 ways that you can find an egg donor. You can ask a friend or a relative to donate to you, which comes with its own set of complexities. It's not something that I would recommend, but that's an option for some people. It's certainly cheaper. You can use your fertility clinic's in-house egg donor program, which has its pros and cons as well. Or you can use an independent egg donor agency like Nurture. Sorry, I just want to get to my note. I think one of the hardest things about infertility or struggling to conceive is that choice is taken away from us. We no longer have choice. We don't have the choice to decide when we're going to have a baby, or even if we're going to have a baby, whether we're going to have a baby through our own eggs or sperm, whether we're going to need a surrogate, or when we're going to have a baby. And so it's a really difficult place to be where you have no control of your life, you have no choice. And recently we had a strat session, the Nurture team, and we said, what do we do? What do we offer our recipients and our donors and fertility clinics? And what we realize is what we offer is choice. We give choice back to our recipient couples, and we're talking about, the choice to choose your own egg donor from a huge database of egg donors, the choice to choose your own clinic. Because we're independent, we work with all the top fertility clinics in South Africa, and the choice to choose your own timing. So when you use an egg donor agency, gives you back the choice, gives you back some control of your journey. Independent egg donor agencies like Nurture are exactly that. We are independent. We're not affiliated to only one geography or only one clinic or only one program. As I said, we work with all the top clinics in in South Africa. So what is an egg donor agency? What do we do? And think of us like expert middlemen who take the process of finding and recruiting egg donors. We provide, for our egg donors, we provide 24/7 hands-on support to the egg donors. It's quite a scary process for them to go through as well. So we hold their hand throughout the process. We are there for them if they're scared, excited, if they just want to chat, we're there for them 24/7. For our recipient couples, who can also be quite a daunting process, we help them with the choice. How do you choose your egg donor? What do I need to look at for egg donors? We hold their hands through that process as well. And then our other very important stakeholders are the fertility clinics, and we provide their fertility clinics patients with well-informed, well-educated, committed egg donors, and they're much easier to work with when they're well-informed and committed. Okay, so how do we find egg donors? This is what we do. This is our main focus, is finding suitable egg donors. It's something that we work on all the time, and we recruit egg donors through various media. The egg donors apply, and it's quite a rigorous process to become an egg donor. Not just anyone can become an egg donor. The list of requirements is quite hectic. I'll put some of them up there. The most important requirement is age. I always say in the world of making babies, the age of the egg is vitally important. That's just biology. So they've got to be between 19 and 32. They've got to have a healthy BMI. And then there's a whole lot of things that they've got to adhere to. The main thing that we ask of our donors, once they've qualified with all the other things, is you need to be able to commit to the process. I always tell them it's not enough just wanting to help. You need to be able to help. We often want to help people, but we're not always able to. And as you know, if you're an infertility patient, there's quite a lot that you need to go through. Lots of appointments, lots of scans, lots of injections, lots of procedures. So the egg donors must understand what they're getting themselves into. So when they say, I do, they know what they're saying, I do too, and they're able to follow through. Very, very important. Okay, so now the recipient couples come to us and they say, right, we're ready to choose a donor. How do we go about that? Most of the time, the recipient couples will choose a donor that looks like the mom-to-be. If she's tall and dark, she'll choose a tall and dark donor. Short and fair, she'll choose a short and fair donor, so that hopefully the baby looks a little bit like the mom-to-be one day. Then they go on online, and each donor has got a 10-page profile on that donor, where we get eye color, hair color, height, weight, race, and same information about her mother, father, and her paternal and maternal grandparents. So you have a full health history and family history on the donor's entire family. Plus, we look at things like their personality and character. We ask them to write little mini essays about themselves so you can get an idea of the type of person that they are, their education, their employment, a whole lot of information. People choose donors in all sorts of different ways. For some people, it's just a physical match that is the most important thing. Other people want a spiritual connection with their donor. Other people say, we're a really sporty family, we'd really like a sporty donor. So people choose for different reasons. They all choose a donor. There's no right way or wrong way to choose a donor. But the point is that you have a choice. You're able to go on our database and choose whichever donor resonates with you. Just to mention that egg donation through an agency like ours is anonymous, and so you and the donor will never meet. The donor donates and gives consent that she gives up her eggs to the recipient couple, who sign consent that they agree to take on those eggs. Right, so unless you're using a friend or relative, which is a completely different process, egg donation is anonymous. South Africa. So, I suppose if I summarize what is an independent egg donor agency and what do we do, why we're there, is that we give you the choice back in your life to take some control over your journey. In closing, I just want to leave you with a few thoughts and say a few things. If your journey to become a parent has led you to the place where you need an egg donor, I just want to say that I see you. I see your journey, I acknowledge your loss and your grief, and that should be recognized. But once you work through that, I want to celebrate with you, because there is so much hope once you go through this process. This procedure is amazingly successful. You often go from being told you've got a 5% chance of having a baby to 60 to 70% chance per attempt, per IVF. It is amazingly successful, and it's a wonderful way to have your baby. And it is exactly that. It's your baby that you will carry in your womb, your baby that you'll give birth to, your baby that you will nurture and love from now until forever. So to anyone who's going on this path, I celebrate with you. I would love to help you, and I wish you the absolute best of luck. And in closing, I just want to go show you a quick slide of some of the babies, which I hope is going to work, some of the babies that have been born through our program. Lots of twins, because there is quite a high twin rate. And I can't tell you how proud I am of each one of these special little babies. This is the cutest. Look at that hair. Thank you very much. Are there any questions about egg donation, about egg donor agencies? Now I can take my glasses off because I'm not so scared anymore.